Hey, for those of you that have joined, if you see in my chat, there's a high likelihood we probably picked timing wrong for this month because it is Memorial Day weekend. So it could be a small group today, totally okay. We are going to record the session as we always do and post onto YouTube after. But on we go. We are just going to start at 4 after, and it will be exciting because we're going to do a trail together. So hold tight, everybody. We will start at 4 after. What's up, Christy? How you doing, girl?
I think I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, you are here.
It didn't like my speakers.
You have feedback. Could you turn off, or you toggle on noise cancellation?
Okay, how about now?
Ooh, that's better. I have a great view of your keyboard too.
Oh, good thing I'm wearing pants, huh?
Yes, Christy's oldest actually goes to SDSU right now. Yeah. There you are.
There I am. I did it.
Have you had a nice?
I'll tell her that I was talking to other SDSU people today.
And she'll be like, Mom, don't ruin this for me. Oh man, how's everybody's week been going? I feel like this is a big week. If y'all have nieces and nephews or kids, like this is a big graduation week. Yeah, because I know I'm going to my nephew's graduation tomorrow, which is exciting, but also it's one of those graduations. Okay, judge me. Feel free to judge me in the chat and verbally. It's one of those. So I went to a okay, backstory. I was a Catholic school kid, right? From kindergarten through high school. So my 8th grade graduation was very formal. You know, I had the cap and gown. Thank you so much. I had the cap and gown, and like you got the physical diploma, and there was like the ceremony to it. So my nephew, and I've already learned this because my older niece graduated from the school, it's those charter schools, and the invitation says that it's a student-led graduation.
What does that mean?
I know we love our kids and everything kids does is beautiful, right? And all that shit, right? I know that, okay? But a student-led graduation, when my niece graduated, and we live, for most of us here, we're in San Diego County, right? So we're not the most diverse area, if you know my drift. And so I'm watching, and it's a 2-hour graduation, and each of these kids get up to do like perform their last about me final. Like that's what this means, student led. And so I'm watching these kids like do choreographed dances. I'm watching stop motion videos. I'm watching claymation. At one point, 3 white kids rapped, right? Rapped to DMX. Like DMX was under like, but they're rapping about school, right?
I think
I
that
didn't.
sounds amazing. You're just a bad person.
I did ask for honesty. I did ask. So anyway, I'm going to a student-led graduation tomorrow, and I'm trying to build up the patience now.
Maybe you could just take your earbuds or something.
Right. Well, I'm going with the twins. Like we're going in tow, right? So I'm going to be wrangling twins
Just lots
while
of snacks.
making sure I have the correct poker face because you're always next to the parent of the worst performing kid, right? Be
Mm-hmm.
like, every kid's it's all talent. It's all beautiful. I love slam poetry from a 12-year-old. I
See,
do.
once the twins are old enough to start like performing in these things, then you'll think that they're all wonderful.
Okay,
There's like a
I know that's true
that has
too, but I gotta be real with Christy. Like they're 3, so I'm not expecting anything. But their artwork is like trash. Okay. Like I'm supposed to be impressed with scribbles. I know that's all that they're capable of, but like
oh my god.
sorry, I'm a terrible person. I'm saying what we all think for a fleeting moment before we then squash it down and go to supportive, okay? I'm just saying it. But anyway, I digress. If any of you are going to graduations and it's student led, just know that I am with you in spirit and it's gonna be okay. And if you love them and I've really offended you just now, I am so freaking sorry. I'm so
I
sorry.
feel offended. How are you gonna make it up to me?
I'm not sorry to you. We've been friends for too long. I don't
Okay,
care. F your feelings. I don't care.
let's
Just I deeply
start.
care about your feelings. Yes. Sorry. We are 5 after we're starting. All right. Professional face. We're already recording. Thank you very much. And let me share my screen. Okay. This screen, this screen, this screen. Present. Present full screen. Yes, present. Thank you so much. Okay. So today we are once again on that quest to get those free certifications this year, whether it's the AI associate or the AI specialist. Why not both? Let's do both. So we are on a quest to make sure that the San Diego user group exercises the tools that are free to them and gets another certification because we collect them like
Do
Pokemon.
you have both of them yet?
No, I am actually, I have with my team at my org, we are um, putting together like our achievements every quarter. And in our achievements, we're trying to note what we've studied and the certifications that we've got. So right now for Q2, me and one of my teammates, we are both studying for the AI specialist together. So our goal by the end of Q2 is to take that test and be certified. So that's my goal. I have slightly less than, I have like 75 days to get it done. But yes, thank you for holding me accountable, Christy. But yeah, so we all know how hard it is to make time to do trails, make time to study. So why not use our user group, our lunchtime hour to do it together, ask questions together, get frustrated with Salesforce together. So jumping into that, today's speakers, what's up? What's up? For those of you that are new, I am Tracy Hart. I'm one of the co-leaders of the San Diego user group. Christy Brown is the other one. And whenever I'm in charge of the slide deck, I choose whatever photo I want. And it irks Christy and I enjoy it greatly.
The picture is so old. That child
I
is almost 8 now.
so cute. She was so brave when she met Mickey. Look at that brave kid. That's not a kid who's freaking out.
So brave.
So brave. You know, because the characters can be creepy. They don't blink. It's weird. All right. Before we get into it, I want to make sure I know in the about section for this session, we said spin up that new AI playground. If you haven't yet, now is the time to do it. I actually tested this last night to see how long it took, and I realized, based on the timing, evening it could, spin up quicker. But then I also did this trail yet again today. I've been signing in under different usernames to do the trail multiple times, to do the project multiple times, and it spun up relatively fast today as well. So if you are not already, log into Trailhead and do a quick search for quick start : agent actions.
I feel like when I've spun them up for all these Agent Force ones, it's only taken like 3 or 4 minutes to be
Yeah,
ready to use them.
yeah, but whenever we're doing a demo, it always humbles us. So I figured, let's do our best. So
I think
yeah,
a big asterisk on these Agent Force orgs is they're only good for like 3
yeah,
days.
yeah.
So,
So you have to be quick,
yeah.
efficient. So after you've done that, the make sure that, because it's going to be a little box right up at the top once you click into quick start agent actions, once you hit start, and there's going to be a box at the top that says, hey, check this box. We're going to, send you a new password. Make sure that you have access to that email address that it is about to send the password link to. Otherwise, you're in for a problem. So make sure that that's the right email address. Then you're going to get that standard reset email that we're all used to. Before you click on the link, just copy that username. Trailhead is going to have it too in its box, but I just like to copy the username from within the email instead. And then once you have that and you've reset your password, navigate back to Trailhead, back to Quick Start Agent Actions, paste in that new username, and new password, and connect to that playground. And Christy will be in the chat today if anybody is going through any issues. But don't feel rushed in this moment. Do it now while I'm talking, because before we jump into agent actions today, I am actually going to talk to you guys a little bit about Tahoe Dreaming. So you guys know that Christy and I are big advocates for the regional dreaming events. If you guys do not know what the regional dreaming events are, Christy, my beautiful assistant for today, could you copy and paste the link to that calendar page that shows the global dreaming events that are happening this year? These events are put on by passionate nerds just like any of us. Tahoe Dreaming originally came into fruition because the Bill, who ran it for 9 years, he was part of the Sacramento user group, and then he decided to divert all of his energy to throwing this conference every year. And very, very unfortunately and very bittersweet, this was the last Tahoe Dreaming that occurred this past weekend, but I did go and I took lots of notes, and I want to tell you guys all about it because I know that for many of us, it's very hard to sell the idea of send me to Dreamforce, send me to Trailhead DX. And then when they ask the price, you're like, well, with the conference pass at $1,500, if I get early bird pricing and the cost to send me there and the cost of the hotel when it's at the highest it will ever be. Plus, I do enjoy eating. It's going to be casually like $4,000. They laugh at you and then say no most of the time. But for these regional events, you're looking at honestly a price of around $1,100. If it's, and that's me including airfare purchased at, the early time, not 2 days before, but that's including the hotel stay, that's including the food. It's such a different price point that I think it's worth fighting for. The other thing that I will, and I think Christy, you can agree with this as well, is I've had the luxury of going to Dreamforce many times, to going to Trailhead DX many times. And what I've seen in those two conferences, especially since the pandemic, is a decline in technical learning and an increase in marketing sales pitches. And while that has its place, that's not why I'm going to these events. And that's not why these events are investing in myself and investing in my future, investing in the future of my company's org. And so it's been really disappointing to see that happen. But what I've replaced it with is going to as many of these regional events as possible, because these regional events are so focused on the technical details, are so focused on still those core learning. They're not distracted by we got to sell Agentforce this year. It's very much like, hey, we still live every day in flow. We still get debugging errors all the time. I'm still confused on how to make Omni Studio work as best for me. And so I get so much out of these sessions, and it is a great opportunity for networking because you are meeting a more condensed local group. And so I just have nothing but positive things to say about these regional Dreaming events. Christy, is there anything you'd want to add there?
No, I agree. Dreamforce and TDX, they're lots of marketing now. I still like them just because it's invigorating to be around, 100,000 other nerds like you. But yeah, the same is true for community events where you can be more one-on-one with people and more personal, get more hands-on learning. And they're put on by community people like all of us. So people who are walking the walk and actually like talking about use cases that they've built and delivered and use, which is more
Yeah,
helpful than just learning about the next big thing. So
yeah, seriously. We're all agent blazers. Okay, all right, dial it down, Salesforce. But
I think it's that hoodie.
I'll make fun of you.
I'm sorry.
I'll make fun of you later. Moving on. um, so you guys know that how I feel about Agent Force, and and I'm gonna slam it a lot as I usually do in these sessions. Give it my honest feedback. But I do want to call out. You know, we are in a time of rapidly progressing AI, and even if we are against it from our um, career path, we need to be the ones to harness it. We need to be the ones to harness it from the technical angle, and therefore, once we become the SMEs on it, we need to be the ones who are the enforcers of it being used ethically. So, as conflicted as some of us may be about it, I think it's still important that we're the ones that take charge of it. I wanted to call out, the some of the sponsors at this event. Actually, on my next slide, I'm going to call out all the sponsors because I met with each of them. They're all fantastic. But I want to call out a couple specific ones around AI. We all know that AI is used in such a way that it's not correct. Like people are saying that's AI, and you're like, well, no, that's just a basic automation. It's like when people say something's organic, you're like, okay, which part of it? But I did want to call out a couple of these amazing tools. And if you guys are in the market for them, or if you're intrigued by them, I highly recommend that you go into them and just look further. Um, Wrestle.ai and Metazoa. These are those admin tools that help you to locate your technical debt, look at your metadata, tell you shit, like tell you like the best way to improve and enhance your profiles, where your security is looking iffy. I got demos of each, fascinating stuff. Looked really amazing there. Box has been around for a long time, but their Salesforce integration around documents handling, like making Salesforce a better document storage solution, was incredible. They have their folder structure is very intuitive. You can tell that they took the time to understand the Salesforce schema and like really how the process works within Salesforce. And I was highly impressed by it. I was also highly impressed by their price points. Hubble Technologies. Oh my gosh. I don't know how everybody feels about Optimizer. It's there, right? But it's not the most helpful thing. Hubble Technologies has their own version of Optimizer, and it is so beautiful. I literally could not get enough of it. Their dashboard, I mean, it's elegant, and it gets into the nitty-gritty of where your Apex classes need some work, or anything of that nature. And then it's very much like, hey, here's a problem, here's the recommended steps for solution. Taking what Optimizer gives us for free and then putting it like on methamphetamines, right? And taking it to that next step. The CEO of it is actually Rob Acker. For those of you who don't know, he was the CEO of Salesforce.org for like over a decade, and he's now the CEO of Hubble Technologies. This one that I'm going to call out because I want to be aware of the time and get us into why we're here is Octodate.ai. This is founded by a ragtag team of great folks, but it was. Whew, I'm going to get another demo of it. What it does is it goes into like your Zoom call, and it listens, it digests the information from that Zoom call. It's not just creating your actions, it's suggesting, hey, these are the tasks that you must perform. Can you verify if what we're saying is correct? You verify, and then it does the beautiful thing where it syncs to like a tool like Jira. It syncs to Jira very specifically. It syncs to others, but Jira is important. Syncs to Jira, creates that epic, creates those tasks underneath it, does the assignments out. It was beautiful. But so very exciting things. I want to go to the next page here. Again, I met with all of these people, and I know that for the San Diego user group, we mostly focus on the Sales Cloud, but we don't want to do a disservice for the Service Cloud or even for marketing. And I encourage you to look at this list and in the comments or email Christy and I after, if there's any of these that sound interesting to you and you would like a demo without them constantly emailing you every quarter, let us know, because every one of these people I talk to, they would be happy to meet with us. They'd be happy to meet with this group and do a demo of their tool. Now, full disclosure,
What was the one you were just talking about that connects to Jira?
Auctor.ai, AUCTOR. Now, Christy and I will protect you, and we will never have a user group meeting that's a full sales pitch. If, let's say, you guys are very interested in Survey Vista, which is, a lower price point than SurveyMonkey, how we would do that is we would do half of the session devoted to how to build surveys out of the box out of Salesforce. And after we've done that, then we would allow Survey Vista to demo their tool, so that we give you the option to how to build within the tool, within your $0 budget, and then we'll allow them to demo their tool so that you guys can consider both options. So that would be how we'd frame it. We would never have a user group meeting where it's a full sales pitch. But again, if any of these look interesting to you guys, let us know. They were all so excited at the idea to meet with this group and talk about their amazing tools. So that is it for Tahoe Dreaming. That's what I wanted to sell you guys on today. Yeah, consider these regional events, because not just with the vendors, but I was in session after session after session after session. And I have, I think, like 8 pages of notes from a day-and-a-half event, So I learned a lot, and I highly recommend. But that spiel should have made it long enough so that everybody's playground is now spun up. So we are ready to get into this project itself. Now, before we get into it, let's just do a high level. What is Agentforce? It's Copilot rebranded. So I'm done. Okay, but it's basically what it's saying here is it's autonomous AI agents that help you perform and handle those repetitive multi-step tasks. This is new. It's, if we look at the Agent Force from the perspective of all the sci-fi movies we've watched as kids and into adulthoods, it doesn't feel that impressive, but we're at the birth of AI, so nothing's going to be mature just yet. So we have to look at it with that level of optimism, but also a level of pessimism, so that we don't get distracted by the glitz and the glamour, and we are actually looking at this tool for what it honestly is. Now, Agent Builder. Agent Builder is under the umbrella of Agentforce, right? And it is the low-code option that allows you to configure those agents using how we speak today. And we define who they are, we define what they do, we define what they have access to. That's Agent Builder. At the highest level, that's all it is. Oh, and the robots, they're so creepy. I know. Okay, anyway, so the goals of this project is we're going to test out two halves of Agent Builder. We're going to test an agent action, and then we're going to create a custom agent action. Now, what are the differences between agent actions and custom actions? Your agent actions are those out-of-the-box actions that come with it. And these are the things that are like, we'll help you draft an email, we'll query the records, we'll do a summary for you, stuff that's so basic that it's built in. That's what those agent actions. Then those custom actions are allowing us to customize the agent to our specific business processes. How my company uses opportunities and sells is vastly different how Christy's company uses opportunity and sells. And so that's where custom actions would come into play. Anything I'm missing, Christy? Now I'm fearful. Am I talking to myself? Because I can't see your screen. I can't see you.
Oh, weird. No, you're good.
Okay, perfect. All right. So I am actually going to exit this now, because this is just my backup slides, just in case my internet goes to crap. But just confirming, you guys can see seller home now for me, right? Yes, no?
All right, yes, we can see Zeller home.
Okay, thank you. Sorry. All right, so the first step of this is going to be basically, I don't know why they want this as a first step. I find it to be the equivalent of when you get to the airport and you need to verify that gate 11 is there. And then once you see that gate 11 is there, then you go walk and get your snacks. That's what we're doing right now. So we're going to go into our app launcher. We're going to type in orders. We're going to click on orders. And then from recently viewed, we're going to click on all orders, and we are going to verify that there are indeed 2 orders present. Yay, we've completed that step. All right, now let's go to the cool parts. If, by the way, at any time I'm going too fast, Christy, you will let me know.
I will yell at you to stop.
Perfect, love that for us. All right, into the nuts and bolts. Let's head to setup. And the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go to search, and we're going to search Einstein setup. Now this is a sparkling new org for me. So this is an org that has not completed the badge. So we should be all seeing the same things. I do have my backup org here of the one that has completed the badge just in case. Einstein setup. And then you're going to make sure this on. So toggle that on. And then true to form, and we should do it regardless, or honestly, around any Einstein trail, hit your browser refresh. Sometimes as I was doing this, sometimes it took me 2 refreshes because I'm a highly impatient person, but everything should look good from there. So once we've done that, we're going to go back to our search box and we're going to search agents. And from here, we click on Agent First Agents. Now this is where your browser may need another refresh because if Agentforce agents didn't appear, that's what's processing on the back end. So maybe you do another browser refresh. So I click on Agentforce agents. And then here is where I go to this right corner and I toggle on. And I'm probably going to complain about this a couple times, but throughout this, I feel like my mouse is going to the right-hand side of the screen, going to the left-hand, right bottom, left bottom. Like I feel like there's still some UI improvements, like at least UI consistencies around where the save button is around Agent Builder, but that is my personal opinion and I don't hold it against anybody if you disagree with me. So I toggle that on. And what should happen here is this bottom box should appear. If that doesn't, do your browser refresh again. And then from here, we are toggling this on and we're saying enable here. Perfect. Okay, so once that pops up, you're going to see, oh, look, Einstein Copilot. Click on that blue link to go to Einstein Copilot. And first thing that they're going to have you do is rename it because they don't want to acknowledge that it wasn't what it was before they changed the name. So I think the name is going to be Agentforce Default. Copy and paste that. So the first thing that we are going to do is hit Open in Builder in the upper right-hand corner. Then you cannot edit any bots. You can't edit any prompts until you deactivate it. This is standard. You can only, edit things that are deactivated. So I'm going to go ahead and hit deactivate. Perfect. And then in the settings, which is up here in the upper right, click on that. And this is where you're going to rename it. Because again, even though any Salesforce AE will tell you it's not Einstein Copilot, API names don't lie. So here we rename it to Agentforce parentheses default and hit save. Is everybody with me so far?
I do think that they check for that when they check the step. So make sure you actually rename it.
They do definitely check for it. I just laugh at the fact that they want to be in denial that this wasn't Copilot. Like, it's not. All right, now we're navigating over to the left-hand side of the screen. And if you're not already on topics, make sure you click on that. Click on new, and then you're going to add an asset from the library. So again, we are going, this is not our custom action yet. This is that agent action. This is that out of the box, what Salesforce provides us with the basics, you know? And so here's that full list. Now, Christy, have you worked with Agent Builder a lot yet? Are there ones in here that you like use every time?
I mean, the things that we're developing are usually pretty custom, but I would say there's a lot of these, like case management would be pretty standard across probably all businesses. You could probably add additional actions to it, but as a topic of this is what this bot does,
Yeah,
pretty standard.
got you. All right. Well, we will be selecting General CRM and then clicking Finish. And then what I learned, they're talking about this refresh button, not this refresh button. So we hit refresh. And now we navigate over here to our conversation preview. So I'm going to hit refresh on this as well.
I think that is something to just call out about the agent builder in general. There are many, many layers of menus and places to configure in here. So like in each of these five things on the left, you can click into them like five more levels. And then you have to go back to save it.
Yeah.
So definitely spend some time like clicking around in there and familiarizing yourself with where everything lives for sure.
I still like I feel like almost feels like the earlier days of Flow, right? Because I feel like it's just not, my brain doesn't follow the click path still. I still find myself like I have handwritten notes for this because then it's like look at upper right corner. I'm like, because it just doesn't feel
The
there yet.
click path is very similar to if anyone has experience building like Einstein bots, it's, it all very much looks like that, which makes sense that this is just like the next iteration of that essentially. So I think like the builder is probably familiar to some, but not to
Yeah,
others for
fair
sure.
enough. All right, so in our conversation, we will be posting this question. Tell me about the orders for the account edge communications, because that is how we talk. I'm gonna be okay. But anyway, after you do that, go ahead and hit enter. It's analyzing our request and it's now going to come up with the answer. And what it's doing here basically is it's finding the account that we've talked about. And then within that, it's now grabbing those records that we've asked for. So this is what's happening on the back ends. And this is exactly what we can see is happening as well. Identify the record by name, because we said, tell us about edge communications. And then it's querying our orders because we asked about the orders for edge communications, and then it gave us its response. So that's what it's doing. It also has, this is I can't think of a better word, but it has a memory for what we've been talking about. So it remembers basically where we started, and then it uses that as context clues for future questions. So we now have the next prompt that we're just going to play with, where we're going to ask, all right, what is the oldest order here? We're going to ask it that. And again, because it has, and again, wrong word for it, but memory, it's using the context clues of our previous conversation to then look at the orders under edge communications and find that oldest one. Perfect. Yes.
REV memory thing. If you guys are reading documentation or just reading about AI in general, you might see that referred to as a multi-turn conversation. It's remembering what you're talking about and you can ask it multiple questions about that things versus everything you ask basically starts a new conversation, which is an important delineation, and you can do both still.
Very, very true. So this is basically where we end with the agent action part of it. This is again using the out of the box what Salesforce has created for us. And again, it's the basics. It queried records and it's summarized data for us essentially. And it got us the key record that we were asking about. Basic, still highly entertaining, still useful, right? But now let's go into custom actions. And again, this could just be me, but that back button is not this back button. We're actually hitting this back button. All right, so I'm hitting back. Yes, I'm content in leaving the site. Thank you so much. All right, so now we're back into setup, and we're going to go back to our quick find box, and we're going to search agent. And this time we are getting Agentforce assets. It's always nice to search agent instead of ass. Ass, it would have come up quicker, but that's inappropriate. Anyway, okay, so here we're going to click on the Actions tab. All right, and then from the Actions tab, we're going to go over to the right, and we're going to click on the button that says New Agent Action. All right, now the thing for agent actions is they are custom, right? So they are using our existing business processes. What does that mean for us in our orgs? Well, if I click on this, it could be what we have in Apex. It could be like API that we're pulling from another system. For a lot of us low coders, it's usually going to be a flow, and that's what it's going to be in this example. But that's what it means when it says connect to an existing action. Connect to an existing business process is that automation that you already have living and breathing in your system. So for this, we are going to select flow, and luckily in this org, they've already created the flow for us. There's nothing to do there. It's the only one available. Initiate return. I swear to God, between the Saks Fifth Avenue example and this and Trailhead, it's all about initiating returns. So that is what we're going to do here. This is what your page should look like. We are now going to hit next. Okay, now this is where you get into the prompt. My notes are telling me that if you haven't already, go and do the prompt fundamentals badge. Bringing back Tahoe Dreaming, I went to a session on how to build the best prompts. And I think the best piece of advice I heard is go into Trailhead, read the documentation on how Salesforce structures their prompts, and follow that same structure. So while it may not feel natural to you, it is the highest likelihood of success because it's basically how Salesforce built this all out. So learn from their wording structure and follow their example. Would be the best place to start. So for this one, for our agent action, we are going to copy and paste, and I'm going to copy and paste in use initiate return for request to return or refund orders or products in order. And if I go to this, I am basically describing the action, when to use it, what it does, when to use it, what it does, when to use it, what it does. So just keep that in mind. And then for loading text, which I find a very cute way of saying, hey, this is basically, it's going to take us a long time, so keep giving the end user hope, right? Is the initiating your return or refund. There we go. So again, the loading text, I love how that's worded, but it's very much like buying your agent time to do the process, but making sure your end user doesn't use hope or like click something multiple times. All right, then we go into our input and output. So I am going to go ahead and put in the instructions here. Again, it's copy paste, but this is me telling the bot, hey, this is what you're going to populate with the following ID, right? This is where you're going to get that ID. You're going to populate this variable, that our input variable in our flow, with the orders record ID. It's the same as when we put screen flows like on a Lightning record page. You know, we're telling it, pull this record ID. It's that same idea. So I'm going to then check these two boxes for require inputs and collect data from user. Now the output. So for the output, again, it's a copy paste. If I can copy and paste it. There we go, copy. And my instructions here. Oh, wait, this output indicates the status of the return request, whether it's been initiated, processed, or completed. So this is telling me after you've initiated that return, tell us that you've done it, you know, basically, and here's how to tell us that you've done it. So here I'm going to put show in conversation so that, again, our end user feels like, great, something happened. I didn't just click and we went nowhere. I actually know that the bot has done its job. So from there, This is what your create agent action should look like. And I am everywhere in my notes. Okay, lost my third page of notes, but that's okay. Does everybody's screen look like this? Anybody stuck? Cool. All right, I'm gonna hit finish here. Perfect. All right, so my changes were saved. So now I am going to go back to the quick find box and I am going to type in agents. And I'm going to click on Agentforce Agents. And man, I lost my third page of notes. This is a bummer. It's okay. I'll figure it out, guys. Oh, found it. I think. Yes, I have. I'm back to my notes. All right. So once I'm in Agentforce Agents, I'm now going to click on Agentforce Default because Copilot never existed, right? And then I am going to open in Builder. So I open in Builder. And then one thing to make sure, I said earlier, make sure your bot is still deactivated. Make sure your builder is still deactivated here, because otherwise we can't make edits to it. So from there, I'm going to head over to the left, head over to my topics, and I'm going to click on General CRM. From General CRM, I am going to click down at the bottom on New Version. Once I've hit New Version, all I have to do is hit Save. Yeah, but basically you should now have a green button here that lets you know that there's a new version again. So what are we going to do? We're going to go back and click on General CRM one more time. This time, instead of topic configuration, I'm going to toggle to the tab that says this topic's actions. And from there, I'm going to click on New. And then from there, I'm going to say Add from Asset Library, because again, that's where we just were. That's the custom action that we just built. So click on this. And here our little action should exist, initiate return. We hit finish. And then from there, we should be good to hit activate in the upper right-hand corner. I know, Christy, I feel like I'm being extra difficult, but it just does feel like the buttons are everywhere.
I don't get that at all.
Well, you're wrong.
When I was going through all these different Agentforce badges,
Yeah.
sometimes when you add new actions or new topics, they don't actually stay there and you have to like refresh and start over and keep adding them until they stick. It's really weird.
Yes, that is actually a great thing to point out. There's a possibility that if I hit refresh right now, initiate return disappears. That means we just have to do the steps again to add it back. Everything looks fine there, so mine appears to have stuck. But yes, that is a common issue across Trailhead. And Christy, it sounds like from what you're actually doing, it still happens like in not.
I think it's just a Trailhead thing.
Okay.
I haven't experienced it in any real anything, only with these Trailhead modules. So I don't know if it's an
Okay.
issue with just these quick dev orgs they're spinning up, or I don't know.
But yeah, I have had the disappearing. So if it does feel like disappearing, you're not crazy. That actually did happen. You can hit refresh. If it doesn't happen after the refresh, you have to redo the steps again. So now it says in our beautiful project, we go back into the org, we click on the homepage, and we are pretending like a user that has just started their day. Now, in the upper left-hand corner, if you do not see a little techie astro, you are going to want to do a hard browser refresh. There he is. Look at that guy. Stellar. All right, once you've done that, click on him. And he does take a few seconds to warm up, so give him a second. Hey, Einstein, how you doing? And we are now going to ask for the status of one of the, we're going to copy and paste. What is the order with the most recent order start date? We know that it's only Edge Communications and there's only 2 orders in their org, so it's not going to be a huge surprise here. But I hit enter. And the order that should come up is the 101 one. If it doesn't, we can always prompt it. In my testing, in my doing this badge so far, it has always come up, but it did say in the project itself, it is possible that you may have to manually tell it. if this is what pops up for you, go ahead and click on that order number so that now we are taken to that record, which means that our cute little agent will be able to pull that record ID, right? Because we are now on the record itself. So once we are there again, we're going to say, hey, start the return for this order. So we do that, hit enter. And it says, great, initiating your return for this order. The return process has begun. I feel so satisfied as an end user. Just to make sure, I'm going to do a hard browser refresh. I'm going to go down to the details tab. And my return status should say initiated. Perfect. So that means I have completed this badge and I now know the difference between that standard agent action and a custom action here. And if I want to go down here and launch I'm going to launch it one more time and verify that I have my badge, as you all can do so now. We have completed the badge and are one step closer to be it's an AI specialist. Let's wait for the confetti. Prove myself right, please. Please, Trailhead gods, don't make me a fool. Oh, you make me wait.
Back and forth about these examples they use in these, because that could have also been a flow with an action button that someone clicks to initiate a return, right? So
100% true. These are so basic. It's painful, right? And it's hard to be like, and this is why we need AI, because all of us know that we're in these early days of AI. We are the people around us are constantly confusing automation with AI, and it's sorry, go for it.
I think it's really important to keep that in mind, because Agentforce does have a different consumption model, right? Like every time you're asking Agentforce to do something, it's charging you something versus I'm just going to run this flow with a quick action. So it's really important to, as you're going through your use cases and how you think you want to use AI, like really consider, does this need to be AI or am I just trying to automate something? I think when you're thinking about AI, it's you want it to help you generate something or have a conversation. That's fine. And I feel like that's what Gen AI is for. But if you're truly just trying to automate a return where it's the internal agent, not the customer doing it, maybe because maybe a customer would be more conversational about it, stop and pause and think, should this just be automation or should it be AI? And it'll be, I mean, a financial matter at some point. So it's good to think about.
And even like, I think I mock Agentforce the most. I think like one day Mark gonna come to my door and I'm right. But I do think, like, even if we are not in a stage to afford Agentforce, or even though if we're not in a stage to want it, or we're going to go with a different, cheaper vendor, I think what Trailhead offers and like these kinds of conversations still help us to be those subject matter experts around this type of AI. So even if you think Agentforce is a joke, even if you think it's early in its infancy, right? It's still a skill set that all of us need to develop.
100%.
Yes, I will get off my pedestal now, and I think I've hated on Agentforce enough times in this call that I should stop while I'm ahead.
I don't know. Everyone thinks it's funny when you do it.
Yes. Just, I'm not going to be distracted by like, oh, Astro looks like a cute little robot. Like, no, it's creepy.
I do like his sunglasses, though. I think they're cute.
That little sunglass image is fair. But yes, so for those of you who don't know where to go next, and if you haven't, highly recommend Prompt Fundamentals as your next one, because that will coincide nicely with what we just did. Because with these projects, it's really easy to turn off your brain when you just copy and paste, right? Prompt Fundamentals really like triggers that part of your brain to be like, oh, I actually have to be pretty scientific and pretty purposeful in how I build a prompt in order to get the response that I desire. So that is my little pitch for this. I encourage you guys, again, to look at the vendors from Tahoe Dreaming. if there's anything that you're curious about, please let me be the one to take the bullet and they'll be the one to ping me every month. Tracy, have you reconsidered? I have no problem doing that conversation. We'll bring them in. We'll make it part of something that you learn about Salesforce and then you learn about an alternative. But please let us know because I think that would be, a really cool thing to learn without the stress of a vendor pinging you every 2 weeks to meet their SLAs.
I
Yes.
also recommend, I know everybody's working towards their Agent Force Specialist certification. There's also that new Agent Blazer status, which is basically like the Ranger ranks. It's just another thing to put on your profile. I went through the first two statuses. I don't think the third one is available yet. Um, but it was actually, it gives you a really well-rounded, takes you through, it's a lot of modules. I think I had to do like 35 modules to get through those two statuses, but I did learn a lot. Like it was well worth it, and the way they organize it and serve it up to you. So highly recommend just doing it if you have time.
Yeah. Um, with that, oh, what trail mix or paths do you recommend for prepping for the Agent for Specialist Cert exam? There's actually a specific one. I have it saved. I can post it in our chatter after this. But I have one that I'm actually studying with my accountability buddy. So
There
I will
should
get
be
back to you.
one posted on the actual certification page.
Yes, yes, that's actually how I navigated to it. Like
Yeah.
study for the test, and then it's in the prep
Yeah.
section.
So if you just go to Trailhead, click on certifications, find that one, and then the trail mix should be posted on that same page. And those are always helpful.
Yeah.
I'll also link out to documentation that you should read or like videos and stuff too.
Read the documentation, watch the videos because, like, I did the AI associate. 80% of the test came from the documentation. So yeah, read those, take notes, make sure you're digesting it. With that, we are done for today. So we will see you next month on our typical third Wednesday virtual session. But yeah, thank you guys so much. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got a badge and you feel great about life. And now you can go on to the rest of your workday.
Bobby did ask when our next in-person meetup is going to be, and I said maybe we'll try planning something for like the end of the summer. It's probably we're
Yeah,
overdue for something in person, so
we are overdue and we are strapped on budget. So we will figure something out.
yeah.
Thank you guys. Have a great rest of your week.
Bye.
Bye.